Now this is the infirmary, and it was used by pupils or nuns, whoever needed it. Philippine herself needed it in September and October of 1820. She had erysipelas, which was an acute bacterial disease marked by fever and severe skin inflammation. On October 30th of 1820, Philippine wrote about this in a letter to Mother Berra. This is a quote. "I too had an illness that lasted 2 months, including convalescence. I received Holy Viaticum and was never so near to meeting my God. The disease was erysipelas. It covered my whole body and was accompanied by a fever that turned into a gastric infection after the sores on my body had disappeared. As I was delirious, Bishop Dubourg brought his own doctor to treat me. He put me through 3 blisterings and gave me 2 mustard plasters. After that treatment, I was no longer delirious, nor have I taken any more mercury, a drug widely used in American medicine. I felt many ill effects from it: sore mouth, salivation, continual weakness in my limbs, and my head so unbalanced that for a long time I labored under the illusion that I was 2 people. If one of them died, I said, there was always the other one left, and I tried to find her. Before I stop writing about myself, I want to show you once more how wonderful divine providence really is. A young American doctor treated me with the tenderness of a son for his mother, saying that he saw in me a resemblance to his own mother. One morning he came as many as 4 times, and he charged nothing at all. Now at the same time, Sister Octavie Berthold broke a bone in her leg, and she had to be 40 days in bed. Evidently they did not put casts on. So Philippine's letter of October 30th continues, quote, "Scarcely had I begun to regain my strength from my illness when Sister Octavie, shod in her beautiful new black velvet shoes that had just come from France and had very slick soles, slipped and fell and broke a bone in her leg. Now she will be in bed 30 or 40 days. This is just the 7th day, and yesterday she was delirious with fever. She is better today, but she is already tired of lying in bed." And Sister Octavie was one of the nuns that was pretty quick in learning English, and so did a lot of the teaching. And then Philippine also adds in her letter, quote, "Before I quit this topic of illness, I wish you would ask Dr. Gienich's opinion about mercury. Here it is regarded as the very best remedy for fever, especially for yellow fever, but they use it for almost any disease. It made me so sick, I told Bishop Dubourg that the medicine was worse than the illness, and that in the future I was going to insist that our doctors use no more mercury in treating us. He thought this a wise idea." They probably would have had straw mattresses in the infirmary as well, but this old bed here is an interesting one that was used in pioneer days. It's a rope bed. I don't know if your mother ever said, "Sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite," when she tucked you in at night. My mother used to do that, and we used to think that was so funny and so silly because it didn't make any sense. But when you think about the rope bed here, it makes a lot of sense. After a while, the ropes would sag and could even break. So it was very important to keep them tight, taut. And there's a little gadget, little wooden gadget that was used to tighten the ropes and re-knot them so that they would be tight. And the mattresses were covered in those days, or were filled in those days, with corn husks or straw. Down in the south, they used that Spanish moss that hangs from the live oak trees. And those materials were certainly filled with bugs. So sleep tight meant your ropes would not sag, and don't let the bed bugs bite, literally.